Do you ever get so lost in your thoughts you can't concentrate or can't fall asleep because you're constantly overthinking? Well, if so, you and I are in the same boat. We both likely suffer from some form of anxiety. Now, I don't like saying suffering from anxiety. I don't think you can just kill anxiety either. It's not something you can just snap of the finger solve. But one thing we can do, and that's the whole basis of this video, is manage and reduce that anxiety. We're gonna go over 5 different ways to reduce anxiety that have worked for me and my experience. These aren't going to apply to everybody, but I hope that you find some of these helpful and useful in managing your own. Number 1 is going to be reducing stimulants. I have problems with this because I am a caffeine addict. I'm also old enough to drink alcohol. If you want to reduce your anxiety, you're going to want to stay away from both of those things. Now, I'm not saying you should completely get rid of caffeine and alcohol from your life, but be mindful that when you are consuming caffeine and alcohol or other stimulants, you are aiding your own anxiety. You're playing into it. So it's your choice how you want to limit these, if you want to limit these at all, if that's possible. But yeah, these things are not going to help your anxiety. They're just going to aggravate it. Number 2 is pretty straightforward, and it's getting enough sleep. Not getting enough sleep almost compounds and adds to your anxiety. The worse sleep you get, the worse your anxiety is going to be, which makes it harder to fall asleep. It's kind of like a circle. In an ideal world, you would fall asleep and wake up around the same time, but I know in this day and age, that's very hard to do. You can watch a ton of videos on how to sleep better. One little trick I learned is to try to not fall asleep. I know it sounds very counterintuitive, but if you look back and think of a time like Christmas morning when you can't wait to go to bed and wake up the next day, from experience, you probably know that just keeps you awake. The more you try to fall asleep, the harder it's going to be to fall asleep. So try the opposite. Try to stay awake, and that might just put you to bed. Number 3 is a big one for me, and I'd say that's my go-to, and that's exercise. Now, exercise doesn't have to be running a half marathon or lifting a ton of heavy weight. Exercise can be very simple, like yoga, like walking, like biking, like swimming. I think another way to reduce anxiety even more with exercise is exercise in nature. If you have like a park you can walk through or just anything like that, I think quote unquote touching grass, getting outside, being around greenery and nature helps reduce your anxiety even more. We were born in nature. I think we were meant to be around it a little bit more than we are. Number 4 is a mix of both mindfulness and meditation. Something that helps me that I learned from my time doing hot yoga in high school is just taking deep breaths and being mindful of those breaths. Or that breathing exercises can be very useful, coupled with a little bit of mindfulness and introspectiveness. I don't know if that's a word. You can find plenty of videos on how to meditate. You can find guided meditation, probably on Spotify, YouTube, whatever. There are like apps to help with these things as well. I just like to take deep breaths, hold them, and breathe them out slowly, trying to only focus on that breath. Like being able to hone in, relax everything, and focus on that breath really allows you to let everything go and find a little bit of peace with yourself. My last one would be just to do things that you like to do. And to be honest, I think that's hard for a lot of us to actually figure out. Just try to think, in the absence of everyone, or if you had 1 hour to yourself, what would be that thing you'd actually want to do? Not something you have to do, like work, eat, whatever. Is it reading? Is it napping? Is it watching a show? Is it gaming? Is it making videos? Is it keeping in touch with friends or family? I think so many of us get caught up in the day-to-day. We get so caught up in the things we have to do, whether that's like school or work. Sometimes we forget what we actually want to do. And to end this video, I'd like you to think a little bit more about that. I hope you found this video semi-useful. I know these seem like very basic ideas to combat anxiety, but I do think they're useful. I think you just need to be mindful of when you're overthinking, when you're experiencing just overbearing stress, and what action you can take to combat that. 2 other quick things that have helped me more recently. One would be journaling. You have so much going on in your head and no one to share it with. I think journaling is a really good place to just organize your thoughts and spill them all out. It doesn't matter how well it reads. No one's reading this but you, hopefully. Just write whatever's going in your head. Write your train of thought. Write anything on a piece of paper in a notebook. It allows you to relieve your brain of some of what you're thinking about and organize those thoughts a little bit more clearly. Next one would be music. I think good music you enjoy, is something you can like listen to almost anywhere now that we have like AirPods, and really helps like calm you down. I mean, we even have music playlists for dogs now, so I think that means something. Just gonna add a last one, that's talking to friends. Like, figure out who your inner circle is, people you can actually talk to about your problems and you're not overbearing with. But if you have like 1 or 2 close people that you can just share your thoughts with and get feedback, or just somebody, sometimes you just need somebody to listen, you know? If you have one of those people in your life, go to them. You should be very grateful that you have a person like that, because not everybody does. So yeah, I know anxiety sucks, but stop feeling sorry for yourself and try to work on it a little bit. Try to make it easier on yourself. I leave you with that. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.